As a new FBO Director user, you may be curious as to whether or not we have security within the system, and you may desire to limit access to certain functions for some of your employees. The way we approach security is to look at roles, which means you create a role like an administrator or a CSR or line service, and then you assign certain users to those roles. So let's walk through that quickly. Security is handled under configuration, security. We start with roles. The first role is a default role that we have set up for you already, which is the administrative security role. Next, we'd want to add a new role. We give this role a name, CSRs at the front desk. And we mark this as an active role. Now we start deciding what CSRs can do. Create an invoice, add trip points, browse. I'm going to give them some access to customers. So I'll say they can manage customers' tail numbers. Fee schedules, I'm not going to give them access to that. And I'm going to allow them to receive payments and run reports on balances. I'm not going to give my CSRs access to billing. I'm going to allow them to go through and access the daily reports, and then my CSRs are not going to have any access to fuel. And under configuration, I'm going to allow them to have access to ad hoc discounts, not to the classes, but to the links. And my CSRs will not actually export data. Of course, we want them to have access to the help pages and everything else that they need for the system. And that's it. We've created a role. Similarly, we can create a role for our line service personnel to be able to use the system also. So once again, we'd click add path, fuel line service personnel, make this an active role. Maybe I want them to create invoices. I don't want them to browse invoices, no work orders. I'm not going to allow line to do anything with customers. I want them to see fuel reports and of course get to all things fuel related. And we could say that's enough right there. Now that you've created your roles, you want to assign users to particular roles. So let's say that I have a new user, line man 1 is his name. I would create a password. His name is line, last name that. His email address, who is your favorite person? John Nelson, add record. Oh, and login type, just mark that as a 1. And I can add CSR as my username. I'll call it CSR master, and the login type is 1. Okay, that's the first step. After you've created the user, you can go back and edit the user, and you're presented with a different screen, which allows you then to assign the user to particular roles. This was my line man, so I'm going to assign him to fuel, and my CSR is then going to be assigned to the CSR role.